Welcome back to Elevator Paso, guys. Today we have a super interesting episode. We're going to be speaking with Maryea Presley. Maryea, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Maryea is a painter, an artist in town. She does events where she takes a crowd and walks us through step by step on how to do different paintings. She's been doing this for how many years now? 2 years in the events, but how many years have you been painting?
Oh, since I was a child.
So painting's been in your blood all your life?
Oh yeah, I had a family of artists.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And today what's super cool about this is that she's going to do an Elevator Paso themed painting, and she's going to walk us right through this. Check this out, guys.
So today we are going to walk through a painting of the mountainscape, and we're also going to put in one of the famous sunsets from around here, because what does everybody know about this place? It's beautiful at night, right? So we're going to add in some beautiful colors, and we're going to have some fun with it. Now, one thing about painting is you don't have to be a pro. You can be any level you want, and you can create whatever you want, but it's up to you, okay? When we do classes, we just relax and have fun and paint. It's not a competition. Nobody's better than anybody. It's just fun. What is one thing about El Paso is those pretty pink skies. One of my friends told me earlier this week that the skies are like cotton candy. Cotton candy. Lots of pinks. You know, they recently recognized art as what? Something that is actually helpful to your mental status, right? Because you can relax and not think about anything. You can put down your cell phone for 2 hours and just relax. It's nice. Because I don't know if anybody else feels like me, but I'm like social media toasted out for real. Now, one thing that people are afraid of when they paint, you see how my colors touch? Don't be afraid. Let your colors touch. They're just going to have fun with each other. Nice smoky colors. Let's clean our brushes. Just we're going to do something drastic. We're going to bounce into some yellow. Yellow can touch that pink. Don't be afraid, right? Because all it's going to do is make beautiful little bits of orange. Makes that glow. Don't be afraid. People paint sections a lot. I'll be like, paint some pink, and there'll be like a little line here. And then they do the purple, and it's like a little line here. And then I have to come in and I'm like, beat the hell out of that. You gotta mend it. It's okay, it can touch. It's not gonna ruin anything. That's what makes all that beauty. All right, let's get this part done so we can get down in our mountains. Are we feeling the glow? Just a little bit? We need a little more intensity. Ready? I'm going to be drastic and scare everybody and throw some red on there. Paint is wet. It's not dry. Okay? This is acrylic paint. It takes like 10 minutes to do a good set. So as long as it's wet and you touch another color into it and you play around, guess what happens? Beautiful stuff. All that blending. Now let's wash this big boy off. I'm mentally doing this silhouette, so don't be mad if it's off just a smidge. Oh, we're going to have to drag it down a little bit. I always make sound effects in the classes because it's fun to do when you're like creating. Whenever we do stars, I'm like, make little whoops, and then everybody goes whoop whoop, and it's funny. We're gonna put some stars on this one. If anybody's just painted with me is watching right now, they're like, yeah, that's Maryea. She's always making weird little sounds. That, and we jam out to 80s music a lot because it's fun.
How liberal are you with your color palette?
As in, like, do I always have a theme? Yes.
Yeah, do you choose your colors based on how you remember it? Do you try to be accurate, or are you making some...
No, just like sunsets. You just what you envision and see all the time. This is a beautiful place to live. Like, I'm originally from the Midwest. You don't get sunsets there like you get here. But the elevation,
We definitely get those pinks and blues and yellows, oranges.
it's a lot more
It's a
intense.
Southwest thing, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't see that where I'm from. But it does. The other night it was pink and it was rippling all across. It looked like cotton candy, just like, the fluffy little. And it was so pretty. You get lots more of light highlights. Like in the Midwest, I see a lot more orange. Deep, deep orange.
Now here you're going back and adding paint to where you started.
Yes, we're just going to mess it up for a little bit of cloudage, that's all. It's going to give it a little more texture up in there. Give it a little more vibe so it's not so flat. One thing about painting is it's just back and forth playing. You have to be willing to realize that it's going to change. Nothing's set in stone until you're done. And that it's always going to change until it's perfect in your little brain. And then you're like happy. And then you're like, yay, I did that. You're allowed to go back and beat on it a little bit here and there. It gives you that nice texture. Texture is good. Otherwise, it just looks like you painted in a square. Nobody wants to paint in a square. Maybe not even when we were in kindergarten, we wanted to just paint a square.
Does acrylic add a lot of texture?
You can, because what do I say about painting pine trees is what we get blob loss, because you're adding those layers, and especially like when you're highlighting pine trees. So you have another layer upon another layer upon another layer. You know what I mean? You can add more texture with each of those layers, and especially those blobs, because they just dry into pretty things. They dry into like lines, Let's put some fire down here. You need some fire in the heart of the city. Even though I kind of went a little too up here. Did you notice that? Were you going to say something? Come on, you're in El Paso and you're going to be like... See, I told you I would do something. So this kid asked me not too long ago, how do you make that cityscape, the night city glow? And there is one specific thing that I always say about those kind of things. You have to put a little bit of a geometric in there. You have to put in that square, that grid. And if you put in some grid, it doesn't really matter if every little square is perfect down there. It doesn't matter if every little line is perfect down there. You're putting in the ambiance of that. We're going to do a little bit of that. I need to fix my mountains. There we go. Get all those city little light glows. Mix it with the black. It's okay. It's not going to muck it up. As As long as you don't keep rubbing, it's not going to muck it up. Leave the streaks. Because the city has a big glow on it. Saw the moving traffic, right? It's the highway being backed up. Let's pop this up just real quick. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to take a smaller brush, squish it out, and you're going to do, it's going to look a little silly at first. You're going to be like, oh, lady, now you're messing it up. But we're not. Not doing every single little building. We're working on the whole total effect of what's going on. And add some of that glow in there. Dun 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 dun. Need to make it a little bit more city-ish, right? Because it's not just lines, there's some buildings in there. So it's okay. You can put little buildings in there, little squares. Doesn't have to be fancy looking. You don't have to go super big time with it. Just breaking up that canvas a little bit. Adding in a little mojo. Especially. Smells. Add a little glow in. Now, we need to go the other direction. And you're like, what are you doing, lady? You just worked on all that, now you're going to mess it up. No, we're just going to do a little bit of drasticness, because you need the square. Right? It's not going to look like a city. You can go back and touch up those buildings. It's no big deal, okay? No big deal at all. But you need those little glows. You can also go through, flip your brush. Start adding little lights here and there. You can add them in the buildings if you want. You can make them little street light glows, whatever you want. There's nothing specific. It's kind of like an organized mess, all right? Organized mess is good. It has some kind of form, but then you can play inside of it and do whatever you want. Guess what? We can add some other buildings and some yellow, maybe a little taller ones. I'm just building it up. Now, what do we need to do? One more thing we need to do. Not only do we need to get this brush nice and flat so I can tap in. I'm going to make this. You got me doing a star live. Yeah, that's great. Everybody's going to be like, look, this girl can't even paint a star. Who is she? There we go. Now, you're like, oh, that looks like a blobby mess. Well, I know it does. But we can add some little deco to it. Look, ready? Add in details. And wait. those little glows. And then we can clean it up. Yeah, there's such thing as not perfect the first time. You can get a tiny brush. You can clean it up and see, make it more unique. You can put some groove in it if you want. Swing those little edges up. Have fun with it. Capsize it a bit. Sharpen these up, and we're gonna polka dot. I need to let that blur dry a little bit. It's gonna drive me nuts for a second. People love to polka dot. I don't know what it is about polka dotting, but people love to polka dot at events. I think it's because it's so simple, but it adds a lot of pizzazz to everything. Adds some dreaminess. If I was at home, I'd have this canvas like this right now. Whenever I'm at a show, you pretty much never see me painting with an easel. I always have it in my hand and I'm walking around, talking to everybody, seeing what's going on, making sure that people aren't panicking and that they're actually having fun. Because sometimes you give people directions and then they're like, huh? What? And you gotta save them. It's getting better. It's blobby. Shoop. 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 Now do you see this? Back and forth. Was this a one and done? No. Is it still done? No. You gotta have patience. If you don't have patience, you're gonna throw your canvas, and that's not productive. We gotta put some fire on it. Like a firework. Better?
Looks very cool.
Fun but quick. Quick and easy. Sorry. I know I jumped out of your...
Awesome. And this is the kind of stuff they do at your events?
Yes, we always do landscapes, mountains, trees, lots of trees. Animals are fun. I like to do animals because then everybody's personality comes out in their little animals. You see little attitudes. Like people have little owls, they're rolling their eyes and stuff like that. And it's like, you're a drama queen, aren't you? And they're like, uh-huh. So it's fun.
And where do they find you? How can they get more information?
The Angry Owl. I'm at the Angry Owl and I'm at the Tea Spout and I'm in Las Cruces also. So I'm under Yay Maker Las Cruces and Yay Maker El Paso. Under Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And then yaymaker.com to buy tickets. That's it.